Tony and Jane grew up like two branches from the same tree. Their houses stood side by side, separated only by a narrow footpath where their bare feet used to run, chasing childhood laughter. From childhood, Jane had always admired Tony not because of his looks or strength, but because of the fire inside him. Tony was a dreamer, a big one. He always told Jane, "One day, the world will know my name." And Jane always replied, "Just don't forget me when they do." They grew older. Life became more serious. Tony discovered his talent in public speaking and competitions. Schools invited him. Youth groups admired him, and everyone said he was destined for greatness. When Tony was 21, he had an opportunity, the National Youth Leadership Competition. Winning meant fame, sponsorship, and a life-changing platform. Tony was excited, but Jane was afraid. The night before he traveled, Jane sat beside him under the mango tree behind his house. "Tony," she said softly, "when you get there, when you rise, will you still remember me?" Tony held her hand tightly. "Jane, I can never forget you. When I win, I'm coming straight back for you. I promise." Jane looked into his eyes. "Don't make promises you can't keep." "I won't break this one," Tony insisted. Tony traveled for the competition, and it was as if the entire world was waiting for him. His speech shook the audience. His confidence, his charm, his brilliance, everything about him screamed winner. When his name was announced as national champion, cameras flashed, journalists surrounded him, and social media erupted. Tony became a sensation overnight. But even in the middle of noise and victory, Tony remembered his promise. He returned to Jane, knelt in front of her, and said, "Jane, be my wife. Let's build this future together." She cried tears of joy. Their wedding was small, but filled with love. Everyone believed it was the beginning of a powerful, beautiful story. But fame is a tricky thing. As Tony's popularity grew, he started meeting influential people, attending events, traveling, and enjoying attention he had never known before. Women admired him. People praised him. And slowly, the humble Tony that Jane knew began to fade. It started small late-night calls, unread messages, unexplained absences. But soon, Jane saw the truth. Tony was cheating. She cried silently most nights, waiting for him to return from his parties. One day, she confronted him. "Tony, what happened to your promises? What happened to us?" Tony sighed, irritated. "Jane, please. I'm busy. You don't understand the pressure I'm under." "No," she whispered. "You don't understand the pain I'm under." Months passed. Tony became worse. He started drinking heavily, going out with friends, wasting money, and ignoring home responsibilities. Jane watched the man she married transform into a stranger. One morning, she woke him up and said, "Tony, look at yourself. Look at our marriage. Look at your life. Is this the man you promised to be?" He sat up, rubbing his eyes. "Jane, I'll change. I promise." "You've said that so many times," she answered. "Your promises mean nothing now." That day, Tony received another award. The media praised him as the rising star with a golden voice. But at home, Jane's heart was breaking. Later that night, she looked at him and said quietly, "I'm done." "Done with what?" he asked. "Done with us. Tony, take your ring. I can't stay with a man who keeps choosing the world over me." She placed the ring on the table, packed her clothes, and walked out the door out of his life forever. Tony didn't chase her. He was too blinded by pride to realize he was losing the greatest blessing of his life. After Jane left, Tony drowned himself in parties, drinks, and the fake lifestyle created by fame. At first, he felt free, no one to question him, no one to hold him accountable. But soon, everything spiraled. He began missing events. He broke contracts. Sponsors pulled out. His friends, who used to come around for drinks and fun, stopped visiting. Fame faded as quickly as it had come. Tony continued drinking to numb the emptiness. His life became a shadow of what it used to be. He was seen in clubs, smoking, fighting, and causing trouble. One night, under the influence, Tony got into a fight that escalated into a serious police case. He was arrested. His fall was complete. Jail stripped Tony of everything: his pride, his fame, even his friends. Nobody visited him. Not his family, not his colleagues, and definitely not the women he chased. As he sat on the cold floor of his cell, he kept whispering Jane's name. Jane, I'm sorry. One day, a guard gave him a newspaper. His name was not on the front page as a hero this time, but as a warning. Promising Youth Leader lands in jail for disorderly conduct. A single tear dropped onto the paper. Tony realized that every step he took away from Jane had been a step toward his own destruction. After serving his time, Tony was released lonely, broke, and humbled. He tried to rebuild his life, but life outside had moved on without him. Jane had built her peace elsewhere. She had found stability, happiness, and healing. She never contacted him again. Tony sometimes sat by the old mango tree, staring into the distance, remembering when life was simple, when Jane believed in him more than he believed in himself. And he finally understood, a man can win the world and still lose everything if he loses the one person who truly stood by him. Promises are not just words, they are responsibilities. And a good future is not built on talent alone, but on character, discipline, and loyalty. Tony had everything he needed to rise, but he destroyed himself with ego and carelessness. Jane, on the other hand, chose peace over pain, and she won.